Hello and welcome, Sooner Nation, to all things spring Sooner sports.
We've got an electric show planned, including a literal fire from over the weekend.
And a few OU teams that just keep steamrolling their competition.
I'm your host, Darby McCormick, alongside analysts Michael Thompson and Chris Holman, and live from Studio A in Gaylord College, this is Sooner Sports Pad.
Welcome to Sooner Sports Pad, presented by OU Health. Proud to be Oklahoma's flagship academic health system.
It was a big week of Diamond sports, and by big, I mean they just kept winning. So we're going to break it down why. And it was also a big week for new phases and faces of OU football program. So we've got all the details of the Crimson and Cream's new defensive backs coach, as well as who's left to coach in the league. And if they liked it, then they should have put a ring on it. So they did. Reigning national champions OU women's gymnastics joins us in the studio to talk about their journey to ring number 8.
What a night it will be, Darby, but what a weekend it was for Skip Johnson's squad in Texas. First up, Texas Tech. Sooner ace Cam Johnson on the mound, and what a day he had. He had 11 strikeouts. Wow, what a performance. Later on in the ninth, Brendan Brock puts the Red Raiders to sleep with this grand slam. Sooners win 10-3. Next day, Bedlam, LJ Mercurius followed up Johnson's 11 strikeouts with 12 of his own, tying a career high. Bottom of the fifth, though, not much power from Trey Gamble last year, but here is some power with this 3-run bomb. OU wins 10-1. Championship game on Sunday against the then number 10 TCU. Straight domination. Kyle Branch with the 3-run home run in the 12-2 win. LJ Mercurius is ready to prove doubters wrong.
It's awesome, man. We had a great team this year, so it's been super fun buying into Skip and Tyler over there, our mental coach. Is just one pitch and get to the next one, and that's really it. I mean, they want to disrespect Oklahoma, we're gonna let them know what's up. When you got hitters like ours, like you just got to go out there and do your thing. Reggie does a great job on offense, and the hitters buy into him, so it makes our job a little easier.
I mean, to start a season off with 11 Ks from Cam Johnson in a weekend of facing Big 12 teams, one of those teams being ranked, you could definitely call that a tone setter for the season.
Yeah, Darby, even is it too early to start looking for a ticket to Omaha? I mean, maybe, but taking down 3 Big 12 teams in 3 days was very impressive. Jumping all the way up to number 21 in the rankings is well deserved, but with TCU actually moving up to number 7 after the loss, I'm surprised OU isn't higher, Chris.
Michael, the Sooners have kept their hot streak going after taking down New Mexico State 10-6 last night and have now thrown 48 strikeouts across their first 4 games. For a team that lost their best 3 pitchers of the draft last year, I think it's safe to say they haven't lost a step. Now, another OU team that hasn't lost a step is OU softball, and they had back-to-back doubleheaders on Friday and Saturday, and it's safe to say they steamrolled the competition. In their first 4 games, they outscored their opponents by a combined 48 runs. Then on Sunday, the Sooners took down UTEP by a staggering score of 34-0. Freshman Alyssa Parker had 2 home runs in the game on Sunday after pitching nearly 3 innings the day before, and head coach Patty Gasso loves the versatility that she brings to the team.
If you watched Alyssa Parker, you would have been really impressed with her, and she wasn't expecting to throw. She is that athlete that just gets pulled around, like from the bullpen to the infield to play defense, then to go hit, and then to go out and pitch, and it's a hard place to be.
In 5 games, OU softball has beat their opponents 91 runs to 9. And in that 5th game, OU was 1 run shy of the program record for the most runs recorded in a game. Of course, we've got to realize that this is before conference play, but it's not every day you see 34 in a softball score.
Yeah, Darby, those 34 runs is a touchdown and a 2-point conversion more than what the football team averaged out on the field this year. Now, the hitting has been great, but the pitching from Audrey Lowry has been outstanding. 17 hits from 296 pitches is world-class, Chris.
Well, Michael, something else that's been world-class is over the weekend, OU hit 21 home runs, with 6 coming from that win against UTEP, and 2 of those were grand slams in the same inning. After that game, every position player in OU's lineup has now hit a home run this season.
Wow. Well, coaching carousels, they are a funny thing. The NFL carousel picks up DeMarco Murray as the new running backs coach for the Chiefs, and the NCAA one drops off Lamar Morgan from Ann Arbor as the new cornerbacks coach for OU. Morgan, in his first year with the Wolverines, oversaw a unit that kept 10 of 13 Big Ten teams under 260 passing yards.
Well, Darby, as new faces come, old faces are looking to prove themselves at the next level. Guys like R. Mason Thomas, Deion Burks, Kendall Daniels, Owen Heineke, and Grayson Halton headline the list of 10 Sooners headed to Indianapolis for the NFL Draft Combine beginning on February 23rd. The 2022 draft saw 7 Sooners hear their name called. This year could surpass that.
And last Thursday, Oklahoma announced that their 2027 matchup against SMU will be moved to AT&T Stadium. The Sooners are 6-2 all-time at Jerry's World, with 5 of those wins being Big 12 titles, and the 6th, the 2020 Cotton Bowl, where they took down Florida 55-20.
Wow, well, coming up, we've got more ball to discuss. And could it take a flaming inferno of a popcorn machine to be the spark that lights a fire under OU men's basketball? We've got the answer coming up. Welcome back to Sooner Sports Pad, everybody. If I had to describe OU men's basketball's win over Georgia in 4 words, it would be, what a smoky win. But I'll just let Hunter Cornejo set the scorching hot scene from Saturday for you.
First time in Norman for the Georgia Bulldogs as Oklahoma looks to win their first home game since January 3rd. This game had it all, including a literal fire. To the highlights we go. Bulldogs on the attack. Somto surreal with force. Bulldogs up 5. Final possession before the half for OU. Xavier Brown to Dayton Forsythe swing to Koala Talk. Corner 3. Cha-ching! Sooners down 43-41 at the half. Early second half, Sooners down 7. Tay Davis cross court in the corner. Nigel Pack. He's feeling it. Sooners on defense. Crowd on their feet. Dayton Forsythe with the steal, fast break, pure hustle, count the bucket. Sooners gonna cruise to the 94-78 win. The Oklahoma bench was the key to the win for Porter Moser and the Sooners as Koala Talk and Dayton Forsythe both provided huge sparks offensively for the Sooners as the OU bench combined to score 44 total points, the most of this season in their win over Georgia.
There's been so much pressure on our first 5. And for our bench to have 44 points, everything has changed for us getting Dayton back healthy.
You just got to stay focused on what you have to do, day in and day out, Every day I just try to control what I can control, try to get better every day.
I think it's huge for us. I mean, when Dayton can come in there and give, and we can always have 2 point guards on the floor at one time, and, me and X can take a break sometimes, and then Dayton goes in, and, we get X out, and me and Dayton are in, and keeps us fresh at the point guard position.
Next up, the Sooners will head to Rocky Top, Tennessee Wednesday night. From the Lloyd Noble Center, Hunter Cornejo, Sooner Sports Pad.
Round of applause for Hunter, everybody. He could have died. And keep those claps coming because it took fire to get OU men's basketball their first win in the Lloyd Noble Center since January 3rd. And it probably could have been their last.
That fire ignited the bench unit, especially Koala Tech, who has not been playing much. But if you hit 6 of the team's 14 triples, you deserve to play.
Yeah. Michael, he's not the only person who played well off the bench, as Dayton Forsythe scored 13 points, which is the most he's scored in a game since November 11th.
Jenny Baranczyk took her team on the road Sunday, and they were in a dogfight in Tuscaloosa. But right away, Reagan Beers doing what she does down low, bullying, grabbing offensive rebounds, going right back up for 2. Then she buries her defender for yet another easy 2. But with WNBA scouts in the stands, she shows her range with a 3 for 3 of her 21. But fourth quarter, OU up 1. It's Aaliyah Chavez time. Sidestep 3 to put OU up 4. Moments later, 2 jumpers to seal the 79-71 win. Coach Baranczyk is impressed with Chavez's growth.
They had a game plan for her specifically, and so what I think is really impressive with her maturity is she's never out in a game. It can not go well, and then at the end when it was time to make a play and somebody had to make a play, she made a play, and she made a couple plays and then stepped up and made some free throws.
This win against Alabama was an uphill climb for the Sooners. 28% from 3, 58 from the free throw line, and 19 turnovers resulted in 15 Bama points.
Yeah, well, Aaliyah Chavez showed her clutch gene yet again. She was 2 for 10 in the first 3 quarters and then 3 for 3 in the fourth. She scored 9 points in the final 4 minutes to put the game away. That is the sign of a good player, Chris.
OU grabbed 14 offensive rebounds, which resulted in 19 second chance points. If they can keep playing like that, they should be able to keep themselves in any game. And one OU team that's kept themselves well above everybody else is OU women's gymnastics, and they flipped on down to Gainesville last Friday for a top 5 matchup against Florida. The Sooners scored their second perfect 10 of the season, with Addison Feda securing the vault title with her first career perfect score, while also securing the all-around title, helping Oklahoma take down the Gators by half a point. Next up for OU is a home meet against second-ranked LSU, and head coach KJ Kindler knows how important the crowd is going to be.
Obviously, you all know we want to get in that 10,000 range for this LSU meet coming up. Really happy how everybody showed up and showed out, but we really want to hit that record. To hit the record against LSU would be huge, not just for our athletes who this is going to be one of the most anticipated meets of the year.
KJ is correct. This meet is huge. Both Team 1 and 2 will be meeting in the LNC. This is their second matchup this season, the first ending in a 5-6 tiebreaker in favor of the Sooners.
Well, OU is #1 for a reason. They are dominating. They're #1 on the vault and the beam, and with a home crowd, this could be a chance for OU to make a statement.
Well, Michael, Addison Feda has already certainly made a statement for herself, as she's ranked as the top vaulter in the country and second in the all-around.
Well, enough talking about them. Let's hear from them. Coming up, 2 gymnasts from the reigning national championship team join Michael and Chris to talk about their season. Stick with us. Hello and welcome back to Sooner Sports Pad. Today we are joined by Caitlin Smith and Aspen Lenchner. Caitlin is a redshirt junior from Houston, Texas, and competes in the all-around position. Last season she competed in the exhibition role on both bars and beam, as well as made the 2024-25 Winter SEC Academic Honor Roll. Aspen is a junior from Oak Creek, Wisconsin, and competes in vault, beam, and floor. Last season she made an exhibition appearance on beam, earning a 9.875, and also was on the SEC Academic Honor Roll. Chris, Michael, take it away.
Thanks, Darby, and thank you guys for joining us. And I'll start off with a question for both of you guys. You guys beat LSU in a tiebreaker earlier this season. What mentality are you heading into this matchup on Friday against the second-ranked team in the nation?
I think we got to keep the same mentality we keep in the gym every single day, just knowing that if we go out there and do our best, do what we train every single day in the gym, then we're going to be an amazing team. We're going to put up a really good fight against the #2 team.
Yeah, I think we're both everyone's really excited about this. You know, it's not every day that the #2 team's going to come into Norman, so we're all just super pumped about it and really excited.
Take me through some of the emotions of winning a national championship last year.
Wow, I mean, it's truly an experience like no other. You know, we worked so hard for that, especially in the preseason. We were up at 6 a.m. every day with each other, and so it really was a hard work paid off kind of moment, and it truly was so special, especially celebrating it with your best friends.
Yeah, I think like kind of what Caitlin just said, but just being there, especially being on the team the year before, having that moment with like that special of a team was just awesome. And in that moment, all you're thinking about is those hard mornings, those hard practices that you made it through, and it was all worth it in that moment. So I thought that was super special, especially with that group of girls. It was super fun.
And can you guys kind of describe the emotions you felt as that banner was unveiled when you played Alabama?
I feel like it was just kind of all those emotions that you felt like on the floor at the national championship. I was like, wow, like it's really there and it really happened, and it was so cool to see that, and it was so exciting, especially for the 24 team. You know, we all put so much effort into that, so it was really, really nice to see it unveiled in the LNC.
Yeah, it's super cool because obviously every year each team is so different, and so I feel like we've kind of been so into our team this year that we kind of forget about what we did last year. And so I think just having that like moment where you see it like being unveiled and remembering like how amazing last year was and how you can bring that into this year and kind of taking that as motivation to do the same thing again this year.
Caitlin, you missed your first year through injury. What did you learn about yourself as you went through the recovery process to get back to full strength?
You know, I think I learned just to take every day one day at a time. You know, it was obviously a really frustrating process. I've had to deal with a lot of injuries in my career, but it kind of taught me resilience in a way, and just leaning on the right people and really coming out on the other side of it. So I'm really grateful for the experience. It taught me like kind of who I am as a person. So.
Real quick, you compete in 3 events. Which one's your favorite?
Beam is definitely my favorite. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on Sooner Sports Pad, and good luck this weekend against LSU.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you both so much for joining us, but stick right here. We will be talking more OU sports coming up. Welcome back, everybody. It's time to talk about some other OU sports, but to start, Michael, let's talk about the story of one amazing former Sooner.
Well, you're not going to see a story quite like this maybe ever again in sports, Darby. Anthony Kim, former OU golfer, stepped away from the sport for over a decade while battling with substance abuse after tearing his Achilles. But now in 2026, Kim has reached that mountaintop once again, taking the win at Live Golf Adelaide, his first title since 2010.
Michael, I'm sticking with golf, but the OU women's team, who were in Sarasota, Florida for the Sun Coast Invitational over the weekend, they were led by Gracie Mayo, who tied for 5th, finishing 2 over par, helping the Sooners finish 2nd, only 4 shots behind reigning national champions Northwestern. Next up for OU is the Gator Invitational on March 6th.
Wow, go Gracie. Well, from wearing the crimson and cream as a player to helping players just like him be the best they can be, Hunter Cornejo has the story of Bryce Madron and his full circle moment with OU baseball.
It's gone! 3-run home run for Bryce Madron.
From hitting round trippers to flashing the leather in the outfield, Blanchard native Bryce Madron made a name for himself wearing the crimson and cream. After earning all Big 12 second-team honors, Madron was selected in the 10th round of the 2024 MLB draft by the St. Louis Cardinals. The Oklahoma native worked his way up to Double-A before he was cut in August. Now he's back in Norman as a student coach for Skip Johnson and the Sooners.
It's a huge starting point, especially being in the SEC now. Being around Reggie and Skip and all those guys, they're really teaching me a lot. It's been a good experience.
For head coach Skip Johnson, adding someone like Bryce Madron to his staff was a no-brainer.
He understands the mental side of the game, one pitch at a time, taking a breath, routines. I think that's what he's really good at it. That's where his future is in baseball.
Winning the state championship with Blanchard, earning the Sooners' first and only Big 12 regular season title, then winning a league title with the Palm Beach Cardinals in 2024, Bryce Madron's experienced a lot of winning in his career. Now as a coach, he believes he can help this Sooners team do the same thing.
This group's really special. We've got a really, really good outfield, so I'm just excited to see what happens with them. I can help these guys out and further their career.
He's just an overachiever and a guy that takes that underdog mentality to everything he does, and it's a unique gift.
One of the few players remaining from Madron's playing days is now junior outfielder Jason Walk, who's grateful for a former teammate to join the staff.
Bryce was shut down in right field, so it really does help. Somebody who's been playing on the same field, the same position, he's been there.
Excited for the opportunity to coach, the goal remains the same, accomplishing something for the first time since 1994.
I just want to help this team get to a national championship. That's really our main goal here.
At Kimry Family Stadium, Hunter Cornejo, Sooner Sports Pad.
Thank you, Hunter. Well, coming up, it's time to see if our 2 analysts are able to talk the talk and face the face-off. Our first live face-off of the semester is coming up, where our audience will decide who knows ball better. Welcome back. It is a busy time for spring sports. In a week of so many wins, it's hard to pick a team that was the best, but Michael, Chris, I am making you do that. Who is your team of the week?
If there were any doubts about if OU baseball was going to be good this year, Darby, the short answer, they're good. OU baseball is the team of the week. Not only did they win the Shriners Children's College Showdown, they ran away with it. 3 wins, 6 home runs, 32 runs scored, and you run rule the now 7th best team in the country. Take a bow.
Michael, I'm going to have to choose the other team on the diamond, OU softball. They've now won 7 games in a row. 6 of them have been run rules, and in 4 of those, they scored over 15 runs. If that isn't good enough, OU beat UTEP 34-0 on Sunday, which ties the largest margin of victory in program history.
Woo! Good start, but let's go a little deeper. In the performances that we've seen in the last week, and there were some good ones, which female athlete is your choice for your women's MVP?
Darby, I'm going to have to stick with OU softball for this one. Over the weekend, Cassidy Pickering scored 13 runs and had 11 runs batted in. But in the Sooners' win over UTEP, she had 3 doubles, which ties the program record for doubles in a game, and was named SEC Player of the Week for the first time in her career here at OU.
There we go. Chris, it's got to be Aaliyah Chavez. She has that it factor, and she showed it once again in Alabama. 100% shooting in the fourth, 9 points in the last 4 minutes. That is MVP material. She is proving that you want the ball in her hands in crunch time. Now, when she finds that efficiency for all 40 minutes, good luck.
Facts.
Well, we had a few championships this past weekend from the men's teams as well as a former Sooner. So out of those performances, which player stood out to you the most in order to be your men's MVP for this week?
It's got to be Sooner ace Cameron Johnson. The Sooners needed someone to step up without the Witherspoon twins, and step up he did. Through 6 innings, the lefty struck out 11 batters and gave up only 1 run. Yes, it's early, but pitching like that could take this team to Omaha and himself to a big paycheck in the big leagues.
I don't know how you missed this one, Michael. You talked about him earlier. It has to be Anthony Kim. After stepping away from competitive golf for over a decade, he just won Live Golf Adelaide, which is his first title since the Houston Open in 2010. And the title isn't the only thing Kim is taking home. He's also taking home $4 million.
Wow. Cha-ching. Cha-ching. Like I said, it's been a massive week for OU sports. But as we look into the next week of all things Crimson and Cream, what this audience, as well as the rest of Sooner Nation, what should they watch out for?
Darby, one thing I'm looking out for is how many home runs OU softball is going to hit this season. Through 9 games, the Sooners have already racked up 38 home runs. And if they stay on that pace, they will have hit over 230 by the time the regular season comes to a close, which would demolish the NCAA record of 161 the OU set back in 2021.
They're on fire, no doubt, Chris, but OU men's basketball was actually on fire. If they can go on a run and close out the season, call me crazy, but March Madness is not out of the picture. There are no more games against currently ranked teams, and if you go 9-9 in SEC play, you've got to be in. Call me crazy all you want, but a win in Rocky Top and the narrative will change on this team.
Okay, I think I've heard enough. So if you think it's Chris, make some noise. Okay, now let's hear it for Michael. Yeah! Yeah! Okay, so I think the winner for the first face-off of the semester, I think it's got to be Chris. For joining us for the first live Sooner Sports Pad of the semester, live from Studio A. We'll see you next Tuesday, same time, same place. Good night.